These health workers in Peru are fully vaccinated, but they want an extra shot.
We're demanding to get vaccinated with a dose of the Pfizer vaccine.
They're worried the Chinese vaccine they've already received isn't providing enough protection, saying that many health workers have died after receiving the Sinopharm vaccine. They're not the only ones. People around the world have questioned the effectiveness of Chinese vaccines. But how much are they really to blame?
They weren't as strong in the first place, but where these new variants have appeared, it seems to really lower that effectiveness to a level that is concerning.
In Brazil, locals are queuing outside a makeshift vaccination centre. With the world's second highest death toll, it's an emotional moment for some.
I'm so upset because my grandmother died from COVID. Cases are increasing every day, so it doesn't matter to me which vaccine I get.
But that attitude isn't shared by everyone. There aren't official figures on how many people are cherry-picking vaccines, but dozens of towns around Brazil are cracking down on the practice.
The attitude of the population to look for other vaccines is absurd. We need to vaccinate the majority of the population quickly.
Late-stage trials in Brazil found Coronavac, produced by Chinese company Sinovac Biotech, has a 50% efficacy at preventing infection, compared to 76% for AstraZeneca and 95% for Pfizer. Another study in the city of Sao Paulo found Sinovac reduced deaths by 95% and hospitalisations by 86%.
It's absolutely better than nothing. And I'd be taking any vaccine dose I could.
If it helps against more serious illness, that's still something.
China's vaccines, Sinovac and Sinopharm, are inactivated vaccines, meaning they teach the immune system how to make antibodies by using viral particles that have been killed.
It's a tried and true method that we've used many, many times before.
It's able to stimulate an immune response, but it's designed like the old polio vaccine so that it can't replicate beyond enough of initial replication to stimulate an immune response.
Mongolia, Chile and Seychelles are among more than 90 countries using China's COVID vaccines. Many of these developing nations rely heavily on them, and vaccination rates are high. All three recorded a sharp increase of cases that was widely blamed on the vaccines, as well as the rise of new variants. But the numbers have since declined.
They served a purpose initially because they helped combat infection and prevent serious illness in countries that were struggling to access vaccines. But now it looks like these might be one of the earlier of the vaccines that has to be put aside.
In Indonesia, more than 1,000 people are dying every day. Officials there have announced a significant change to its vaccine policy, deciding to give Moderna booster shots to health workers already immunised with Sinovac. Thailand is following along, offering locals a mix of Sinovac and AstraZeneca.
You can actually get quite a dramatic boost if you then complement it with mRNAs.
Those decisions came after reports that hundreds of fully vaccinated health workers caught COVID. Officials say 2 have died in Thailand and 30 in Indonesia. But both countries also have very low vaccination rates. Thailand reports only 5% are fully vaccinated. In Indonesia, it's 6%.
So you get the terrible combination of a vaccine where you don't have a lot of coverage, so you actually have even more infection, and the vaccine itself not standing up as well.
One study from Thailand said the antibodies from Sinovac could decline by up to half every 40 days. But it's the variants of COVID which will do more to undermine vaccines.
The Sinopharm and Sinovacs would be having a very hard time dealing with variants of concern.
There is no public data yet on the Chinese vaccine's efficacy against any of the COVID variants.
But at the end of the day, we now have a variety of vaccines that do a lot better than that.
But given the reported rate they prevent hospitalisation, they're likely to have already saved many lives.